Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So today we're having a beautiful spring day out there. The birds are singing. It's just a little bit chilly yet, but at least the sun is out and there's definitely just an air of spring out there. I'm just loving it. I just quickly want to show you guys what I'm going to do here in the center of the shop. Every year I have a booth at a local vintage fair. It's always the last weekend in June, and that's coming up soon here. I know I still have a couple months, but I know it'll be here before I know it. So I always like to set up my booth beforehand. That way, once I get up there with all my things, I know exactly where to put everything. I don't spend all that time setting up. And a number of years ago when I started this fair, I made my own little structure that I like to kind of separate my booth, from the ones around me. It's very simple. It's just basically made with 2x4s and they're lying on the floor here behind me. And what I do is I set those up. I attach some boards over the top to hold them in place. And then I have some peaks that actually go on the top of those. And I cannot fit those in here, with the low ceiling, but I will swing the camera over there and show you guys. But at the actual fair, then I'll put, the peaks up too, so it actually kind of gives a little cottagey look with the structure. And it's all very simple. I didn't spend, hardly any money. I just had some old 2x4s around here that weren't in use anyway. I just kind of slapped those together, and I actually used a piece of cardboard for my, my sign in the peak. And then of course I used my silhouette cameo to cut out the letters, White Cottage Company. So I also have some wood panels that my husband and I had made a number of years ago that I use for some sides along the structure. That way I have something to hang some things. They're also very simple, just some plywood and beadboard. And with lots of use over the years, they're pretty battered, but they still work. So I will start to set this thing up and kind of show you what I'm doing as I go. And maybe I can give you guys an idea. I don't know, are any of you involved in, fairs or flea markets and just want a simple, structure or a little divider from the other booths? This has worked quite well over the years. So on these panels that I'll be using next, I have these little latches, and some of them have hooks that I use. This would be the back side of the panel, to hook them together. And they're all numbered. That way I know, that the latches will match up. This will make more sense as I put them up. So I have the panels up, and this is of course all very temporary. Usually in the fair I would bring the panels here. The top of the panels would actually be attached to the top board here, which is actually the peak that I had showed you earlier. So there would be no space between the panels and that top board. But I didn't want to apply, screws to all of these panels to just set it up temporarily like this. This way, if I have it set up, I can, have an idea of the space I have and how much, space I have to hang things. And yeah, it's pretty wobbly, and it will be, set up a little better once it's up, at the fair, but this will be at least a good start. So as you can see, nothing is set up here as of yet. That will all happen in the last few weeks before the vintage fair. It's just nice to have a space all ready to, if I work on projects or make something, I can bring it up here. It's, out of my way, and it's all ready to be set up then. I'm sure a lot of these items you recognize from some of my past videos. If you've been watching, the past year here, I had some trash to treasure ones that I have a lot of the items here that I'll have at the fair, and also some furniture that I had redone last summer. And I still have tons of furniture to redo. I'm planning on working on that here in the next weeks, especially once the weather permits, that I can spray paint outside. So stay tuned for that. I'll make sure to share a lot of those projects with you guys, and also if I work on anything here in my little stand, I'll make sure to show you guys what I'm doing in case any of you are involved in having a booth somewhere. Not that I have all the answers to everything. I'm sure many of you could give me some tips, but I can, share what works for me. So I hope I inspired you guys to maybe just use like simple things, 2x4s, and some paint to create a structure or kind of a divider to separate your booth from the others. And the nice thing about this is it also provides, I usually have boards going along the top. If I want to hang anything from the ceiling, I can do that. So stay tuned for some more vintage fair updates. I'll make sure to share them with you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great week. Bye.